So we are back, and by the way, First Transit, this inning sponsor. We'll get you a list of all Pios sponsors later, and we're going to see how long this camera will run. Hopefully, as things are starting to cool down here in Elmira, we will be able to go further. It's currently 8:05 p.m., and it's down to 81 degrees. It was nearly 90 during Game 1, and even hotter at the start. And keep in mind, that's just how hot it is in the outside, not accounting for how hot it is in this booth. This one's grounded to third. That throw to first is wild. And that is going to allow Boltman to head to second. Tough start to the inning for the Pios. But again, we are back live here in Elmira. The Pios had an absolutely monstrous bottom half of the first inning. This one's going to be grounded to short. Picked up on the hop. And they do get the out. It was a close play, but Marsh held onto it. So that'll retire Wood for the first out of the inning. Serrano enters this game with an ERA of 7.36 and a 2-2 record. But this one's lined and caught. They won't get back in time for a double play, but great reflexes by Osofsky in the infield to get Hurwitz out on the very first pitch of the at-bat. Serrano getting through batters quickly here. I think he's had less than 5 pitches this inning and already faced 3. That'll bring up Menser at the top of the order again. He was walked and would later score. Kobe Menser currently hitting .325 this year. Two outs here in the top of the second. Strike one taken. So I will say, I think with these cooler temperatures, we might finally have no camera issues. 0-1, 2 away here. That one's taken low, ball 1. This one's lined to right. Herrera on it. He'll make the catch. An error is the only blemish this time, as one runner will get stranded on base. Pioneers baseball returns after this. Bottom of the second, Pios hold a commanding lead.
Owned and operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All of the products we manufacture are designed right here, so we truly know the products we provide for you, inside and out. On top of being an industrial manufacturer, at the Hilliard Corporation we also serve as a weld shop and machine shop. We specialize in creating custom parts and pieces to fit particular and uncommon applications. The secondary location is the home of the drivetrain division, where products for Polaris and other vehicle manufacturers are made. This is a high-volume, celled manufacturing plant that produces thousands of parts daily. Over time, Hilliard's product line has diversified, but our company has stayed true to our Elmira roots. Today, Hilliard maintains its original location while continually expanding its motion control and filtration product lines in the Elmira area. Hilliard designs and manufactures for companies around the globe, occupying more than 500,000 square feet and employing about 500 people. Taking pride in serving the Elmira community for over a century, the Hilliard Corporation.
So, bottom of the second, we've got a new pitcher entering the game now for the Newark Pilots. Anthony Cooper enters the game. Cooper this season, he's pitched only 1 inning. He's definitely more of a long reliever. And he's going to be brought in just to eat up anything he can here and try to give the Pilots pitching staff a little breather. The good news for him is that it is a 7-inning game, which does mean he will have a shorter time span on the mound in general. And also a note for the Pioneers, due-up will be Marsh, Wayman, and Blake. Marsh had a single that ultimately loaded the bases. A wild pitch would bring Cooper Smith home as Wayman struck out, and Aiden Blake would hit a 3-run shot to give the Pios a 4-2 lead that would later expand to 7 by the end of the inning. And now Marsh will look to keep that hit parade going as he starts out this inning. Marsh is going to rip that one deep right field. Instead, it's just going to go all the way to the other fence and very much foul. The Pios, if this result stands, would be over 500 for the first time all season and would be officially 1 game away from Auburn, depending on how Auburn has done today. But it would put them in a great position to challenge for the playoffs. They need to be top 4, and being 20-18 or 19 would help them do that. Countdown 1 and 2 is that one lands in the zone. All right, I think mentioned Bobby Marsh's strong average entering today, and it is 286. He's had a pretty strong start to July after a somewhat weaker June for Marsh's standards. The whole team was struggling earlier on as well. The bats have really gotten active as the season continues. Marsh is going to ground that one, and it's going to hit off the second baseman's glove. The throw will pull the first baseman off the bag, but Kinney holds onto it. It's only a leadoff single. And also, I don't think it would be an error because clearly that was going to be an incredibly hard play as it bounced off his glove. I'd say it was a good job by both players, Whitley to try to make an attempt, and by Kinney to not let that ball get too far away and give Marsh an extra base. That'll bring it Frank Wayman. He went down looking last time, and after a sluggish previous game, he's definitely going to be motivated to try to get something done here. Takes strike 1 of the outside corner. That's a pitch that's borderline on that corner, but so far, It has gone pitcher's way, I'd say, for both teams. Wayman's going to hit that to second. Going to turn 1 and 2. It's a double play. That'll be graded as a 4-6-3 double play. And we'll empty the bases with 2 away for Aiden Blake. His previous at-bat, Aiden Blake sent a rocket to left field that cleared the wall and ultimately scored 3 runs to give the Pios their current lead and give Brayden Coletta a deep breath as he wouldn't have to worry about having a loss here. He this time pops it up. Right field tracking it down. And the catch will be made. Good job to call it there by Hurwitz. And that will end the inning. Pios go down in order after 1 hit. No one left the board. A quicker second inning. More Pios baseball after the break.
When you're on the go, your bank should go with you. You need to change the way you money. With Chemung Canal Trust Company, you can take control of your money your way. Whether you're multitasking from your home office, killing time at your kids' soccer practice, or jet-setting around the globe, now you can manage your money right from the palm of your hand. Change the way you money with Chemung Canal Trust Company. Chemung Canal Trust Company. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
As Kevin Serrano warms up for another inning of work, we'll quickly thank a chunk of our Pioneer sponsors who help make Elmira Pioneer Baseball possible. Thank you to AJ's Outdoor Power Equipment, Marcus Chemung Schuyler, Arnett Health, Big Fox, Blaze Brockway Contracting, Beal Electric, Buckley's Automotive, Billy Hill Vineyards, Catholic Charities, Chemung Canal Trust, Clemens Center, Coca-Cola, Dandy Mini Marts, Elm Chevy, Elmira Heat Treating, the Elmira Junior Enforcers, Firefly Adventure Retreat, First Transit, Glove House, Hardinge, Heroes Comic Shop, Hilliard, Jubilee Foods, Just in Time, MT Bank, NOSCO PBA, Office Equipment, OPWDD, Papa John's, Pinecroft Golf Course, Salins, Save-A-Lot, Seneca Beverage, Service Master, Serve Pro. As we wait for the next batter, I'll give you the rest, but for now, we've got to start the top of the 3rd inning. Leading off is going to be Whitley. He made most of those plays in the 2nd inning, including nearly the final pop-out, but he was called off of it by his teammate. 0-1 taken here. But again, thank you to those sponsors and to the next sponsors we'll mention a little bit later for helping make the Pioneers baseball season possible. Good framing attempt by Charnetsky, but just outside, ball 1. That one's grounded to 3rd. Took a weird hop, but Hanley reads it. Just out by a step. Whitley a little disappointed. He ran that out really well, but Hanley's throw just in time. Ty Morgan steps up, and we'll quickly finish up. Shedden's Wholesale, Simmons Rockwell, Slam and Jam and Barbecue, Solutions FCU, Southern Tier Custom Fab, Suburban Propane, SUNY Corning Community College, this inning sponsor, Susan Minchin DDS, The Cakery, Tioga Downs, Tom South Corning, Town of Southport, Tower Broadcasting, Turtleleaf, the U.S. Navy, Value Homes, Vasco and Vasco Brands, Wegmans, Waste Markets, and Wilbur Auto. So, those are all your Pioneer sponsors. Thank you so much for sponsoring, supporting the Pioneers, and helping make this season possible. 0-2 now. Ty Morgan was the first out of the inning, back in the 1st. This time he's going to foul it off and stay alive. Doesn't want to go down in 3 pitches. Fouled away. 0-2 now from Serrano. Going to call time, though. They weren't able to get the sign. One and two. I will say, around the world of sports, big news when it comes to the WWE, Vince McMahon announces his retirement. There's been a lot of news and buzz swirling around with that, but it's still a pretty momentous occasion for Vince and for the wrestling world as a whole. 2-2, so that one's just inside. Fouled away again. Ty Morgan really doing a good job of keeping alive in the at-bat. And strike three taken. And that's the first strikeout of the game for the Pios. Honestly, with having to deal with the overheating issues, I've not been able to use the strikeout sound all night, so I figured I might as well just bring it back for that occasion. Anyway, Espinal steps up, got on base with a walk back in the first inning. He, however, wasn't able to come around and score. He's going to pop this one backward. Charnetsky looks for it, but he's probably too late to get it. He is. 0-1. That one's fouled away. 0-2, Serrano looking to get through another clean inning. He's faced 7 hitters. And number 8 stays alive. Espinal and Ty Morgan doing a good job of making it hard for Serrano to get them out. And we'll have another. Of course, more news as well around the MLB. Everyone's eyes are on the Juan Soto saga, as he is potentially going to be traded from the Nationals. Yankees, Cardinals, Mets, a lot of potential suitors. Strike 3 in the dirt. Charnetsky makes the throw to Marsh, and that'll end the inning. A second strikeout for Serrano as the Pilots go down 1, 2, 3. More Pios baseball after this.
Hi, I'm Bill Mullaney, president of SUNY Corning Community College. I'm here today to let you know the classes and the quality of education that you've expected of us are ready to be delivered. Whether you're interested in transferring to a four-year university or joining the workforce directly, Corning Community College has the program for you. We're here to provide the best possible education that we can, no matter what your aspirations. We hope that as you begin to weigh your options for the fall semester, you'll think first of Corning Community College. We're here for you, closer to home.
Remember, Pios fans, you can get yourself tickets and head to the stadium to see the playoff push. And also, if we're in the playoffs, that actually will be kind of unfortunate since I have a feeling we won't get home field advantage. That will most likely go to our counterparts in Batavia and Utica. Still, we still have some games left in the regular season and a thrilling conclusion to the season. Pios Baseball ready to get back underway here. Remember that number to get yourself some Pios tickets. Bottom of the third underway here back at historic Dunn Field. Leading off for the Pioneers after they went down 1-2-3, Max Mandler. He got on base and scored after a walk. It's going to take ball one. Mandler hits that to third. Fielded for out number one. Kyle Shimoleski up now, takes strike one. Fouls this one back, 0-2. And a good catch there by a fan, and that one is applauded around Dunn Field. One and two. This one goes in the dirt. Just a little outside, ball two. 3-2 here. And ball four. Kyle Shimoleski works a walk after going down 0-2. Great job by him to get aboard. Hanley back at the plate. He had a single and an RBI in his previous at-bat. Hanley takes ball one. Runner goes. The count now 2-0. Runner safe at second. They just couldn't get the throw in time. So Shimoleski gets a stolen base. Tomorrow, the Pioneers head to Niagara. The day after that, I believe they're over in Oneonta. I'll keep you posted. I should be good for those games, but obviously it's going to just be, one, how I'm feeling, two, well, they've still got COVID, because again, as important as these broadcasts are, I also don't want to jeopardize the team's health. And that one, ball four for Hanley. I think I missed ball three while mentioning that before. Two aboard with one away. Charnetsky took one to the wall in his previous at-bat. Was able to get Hanley and himself in scoring position. Could try to do the same right here. Fouls this one off. It's 1-1. Fouled away. The count now 1-2 for Charnetsky. Charnetsky only hitting .179, but he's got a .452 average and .357 slugging percentage. This one's going to be sent up high. Both players tracking it down. It'll be caught in left field, 2 away. Here's Ethan Herrera now with 2 away. Fouls this one back. Herrera got on board with a walk last time. Swing and a miss. Fooled by that one in the dirt. This one popped up and foul. Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Pios get 2 base runners, but both get stranded. Pios still leads 7-2 entering the 4th inning, halfway through doubleheader number 2.
For more than a century, you've counted on Arnett Health. Counted on us to heal you, support you, encourage you, get you back on your feet. And for more than a century, Arnett has counted on you too. You're our community, our purpose, our passion. You're the reason we do what we do. Because giving our patients the best of ourselves is just who we are. Looking forward while embracing our legacy. Staying on the cutting edge while staying connected to our patients. Focusing on state-of-the-art procedures and the most effective care. At Arnett, we're nurses, doctors, and teams of other caregivers inspired by healing. We know your physical, emotional, and spiritual health are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
Top of the 4th inning underway here back at historic Dunn Field. Pios 7-2 lead. There hasn't been any scoring since that hectic 1st inning. Duffy leads off. He's going to send this one foul. Duffy got aboard with a walk last time. This season, hitting .273, entering the games tonight. In the previous game, Duffy went 1 for 3, so that average will likely go up. Depending on how this at-bat goes, Serrano wants some more time to think. Oof, that one goes in, and apparently that one must have nutmegged him. It looked like that hit right off his leg for a hit by pitch, but nope, instead it's a 1-1 count. This time some heat goes up high, it's 2-1. You could definitely tell there was a bit more power behind that one. This time it goes outside. It's a 3-1 count here for Duffy. Ball 4. And that's the second base runner surrendered by Kevin Serrano. Martinez up, and I'm going to be, actually, it looks like he's come in for Werner. He's taking ball 1. So Martinez will be a new extra hitter. I think they're trying to bring in a hot bat that's got some power behind it in this situation. Safe at first on the pickoff. In the previous game, Martinez took one deep right field. Got a home run on Zeev Gar. The first run scored in that previous ball game. That's some heat that... Not sure what that was called as a ball or strike, because it actually looked like he was trying to ring it up for strike 1. But I think it ultimately is ball 2 here. Still a runner on first, 2-0 to Martinez. 2-1. I think we'll have to wait and see if the ultimately gives us a updated count here. But for now, 2-1. Runner goes as this one's driven to center field. Mandler back. He makes a catch. Runner will be back in time. No double play. One away here now in the top of the 4th. Kinney up. He'd had a double play to end the first inning. He was the first batter that Kevin Serrano faced. And this time it's going to be grounded shallow to third. They turn 1, and that's all they'll get. The fielder's choice, however, gets it 2 away now. Runner on first. 2 away. Up steps Boatman. Bowman takes ball 1. This one popped up. Mandler under it. And that'll end the inning. No runs and no hits and no errors. 1 left the board. Pios baseball resumes after this as we enter the bottom of the 4th inning. The Pioneers still lead 7-2.
With nearly 3,000 employees working across various locations in the Southern Tier, Arnett Health was recognized as one of America's best mid-size employers by Forbes for 2022. And we turn to our employees to find out what makes Arnett such a good employer.
Is the level of ownership that everyone has for their work and the amount that they show that they care.
Regardless of role or job title, everyone here supports one another and brings passion to the work they do.
During the COVID pandemic, we had everybody in our system come together and work as a really strong team.
They want to be here, they love being here, they love helping everybody.
Everywhere I go, we have just great staff. And they're my friends, and I see them, how dedicated and hardworking they are.
It's amazing how much perseverance and effort we go through to strive for the best patient outcomes possible.
I'm going to use this opportunity to give you a quick look around the rest of the PGCBL. Jamestown Tarpskunks defeated Niagara 4-0. Albany defeated Socrates 2-1. The Batavia Muck Dogs and Auburn Double Days currently in the middle of their game. They mentioned, I think, that they were having some issues with their stream too. No, it's official. There's a 1-0 lead now for Auburn. The Pioneers are currently beating the Pilots 7-2. Amsterdam Mohawks facing off against the Diamond Dogs 4-2. Rapids beating Oneonta 9-2. Tarpskunks beat Niagara Power in Game 1 5-4. And, of course, Game 1 for the Pilots ended 3-2 with the Pilots' victory. So Jamestown looking to do the double against Niagara. So them and the Pioneers could very much likely be a game behind the Double Days. But the Double Days are also winning against Batavia, who are still the first seed in the division, but are also prone to slipping up. Leading off for the Elmira Pioneers this half of the inning is Cooper Smith, as the Pioneers get back to the top of the order. Cooper Smith hasn't had an official at-bat. He got hit by a pitch and would later walk in his first 2 at-bats in the first inning. Smith is going to send this one deep. It'll be caught in center field, though. 1 away. So that center fielder there did better than the one in the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays game. A fact that I know Scott Smith will love if I bring up. Where Raimel Tapia hit a fly ball deep center field that ultimately turned into a grand slam thanks to a fielding error. Olsovsky now up. He's 0 for 1. He also had a hit by pitch and also a line drive that ended the first inning on what was a run-saving play at second base by Whitley. He made an incredible grab that ultimately stopped what should have been an easily a 2 RBI single. Counts now 1-1. The current line score, 7 runs and 5 hits and an error for the Pios. That one was flown to center field for out number 2. Current line score for Newark, 2 runs on no hits and 1 error. And that will bring up Bobby Marsh, 2 for 2 with singles, and he also was able to score a run in his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Marsh. Marsh is going to send that one. He's found the barrel this time, but the catch will be made, and the inning will be over. Very busy inning out there for Metzer. He makes all 3 catches in center field as the Pios go down in order. And it's actually the second game in a row against the Pilots. The Pioneers have gone down in order in the second and fourth innings combined. So, a little bit unlucky in these innings. The Pios don't need to worry too much. They lead by 5 with a 7-2 margin.
With Chemung Canal's mobile banking services, you can get back to doing what you love most faster. At Chemung Canal, you chart your course and we'll help you get there. Chemung Canal Trust Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey everyone, we're back, top of the 5th inning. Right before it starts, I'd just like to give an apology once again for the streaming difficulties. The heat just getting in the way for the GoPro, and I have to do all the technological stuff. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm better at when it comes to the commentary and speaking. I've been really practicing this season, being able to manage the camera, getting the stream being ran. So, I have these difficulties, and I'm not an expert at it. And obviously, I try to do the best I can, but sometimes things like this will get in the way. The good news, though, is we do have a working camera for now, as this first pitch is taken for ball 1. So I just wanted to just mention that again. Thank you for still tuning in. Hopefully, as the weather, I think, ultimately will end this little crazy heat wave that honestly has been affecting all around the world recently. We know Europe's been having a very bad heat wave problem. We know Batavio's having issues too. These difficulties won't be present for other streams. Tomorrow we'll be up in Niagara most likely. That's of course knock on wood if I'm healthy enough. And of course, I'm pretty sure Niagara does their own broadcast, but I'll have to wait and see. This one's grounded over to third, picked up by Hanley. And he gets that just in time. That was even closer, but Wood out by maybe a step. And he'll be disappointed, and I can't blame him. One away. Hurwitz up. He lined out in his previous at-bat, and this one taken for strike 1. I'm going to be honest, Chief. I think that was a ball, but hey, you can't argue with City Hall. 0-1 now for Hurwitz. This one a little bit inside, 1-1. High, ball 2. I'll say Kevin Serrano has pulled out a great outing here. He was called upon with the bases loaded in the top of the first inning, where he immediately got out of the jam with a double play, and since then has been cruising, allowing just 2 base runners and getting out of jams left and right. We know he's been a solid reliever all season with the Pioneers. He's occasionally struggled from time to time. Everyone has off games. In fact, you could even say the same thing about Zeev Gar, but both Gar and Serrano really putting on great performances so far, putting the Pios in the best spot to capitalize. And the Pios did capitalize and hold that benefit of a 5-run lead, as this one's fouled away from Hurwitz. Hurwitz is hitting .292 this season. and has a .352 on base percentage. But this time he's going to go down looking. A big strikeout right there from Kevin Serrano. That's his third of the game, and that will bring up Mensah again, who's out in center field and was pretty busy in the field in the bottom of the fourth inning, where he came up with every single catch to end the inning, and they weren't necessarily just standing pop flies. He had to track back for a few of them, including the one hit from Bobby Marsh, which had a bit of distance on it. I mentioned before that historic Dunfield can be a little bit of a cavern, that fly balls do go out to die here, but again, we've also been proven wrong tonight. Aiden Blake's 3-run shot, the solo shot from Martinez. We've seen both teams send balls deep. That one taken for strike one. Previous pitch was ball 2. Now it's a 2-1 count. This one's going to be grounded to short. Great pickup from Olsovsky. That ends the inning. Pios still lead, and Serrano still on fire. This time, they don't even strand a runner.
For more than a century, you've counted on Arnett Health. Counted on us to heal you, support you, encourage you, get you back on your feet. And for more than a century, Arnett has counted on you too. You're our community, our purpose, our passion. You're the reason we do what we do. Because giving our patients the best of ourselves is just who we are. Looking forward while embracing our legacy. Staying on the cutting edge while staying connected to our patients. Focusing on state-of-the-art procedures and the most effective care. At Arnett, we're nurses, doctors, and teams of other caregivers inspired by healing. We know your physical, emotional, and spiritual health are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
Bottom of the fifth inning. Cooper still on the mound. He's done a good job of keeping things quiet as well. And I think it would kind of be a little bit too biased of me to ignore that fact that he's come in and pitched 3 really clean innings so far, allowing just 2 walks and a single. But Frank Wayman is going to lead off. Wayman was involved in a double play and finds himself 0 for 5 in the 2 games today. One and one. One and two now for Wayman. Two. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And again, it is a 7-inning doubleheader. Game number 2, the Pios did win game number 1 to improve to 19-19. This time, the lob to first gets out number 1. And that's going to bring up Aiden Blake. Blake 1 for 2 today, but his 1 was a huge one. The 3rd Pioneer homer all season. and one of the first we were able to catch on broadcast. With the camera issues, it was only the call, but still a huge hit from Aiden Blake. And with one out, he's at the plate. 1-0 here as he takes this one high. One and one. After that 0-5 start, the Pioneers had improved, but they've never been able to really get back up to 500 for an extended period of time. And currently do sit at 500. A win here would bring them above 500. I'd have to double check, but I'm positive that it would be the first time they've gotten over that mark all year. Blake is now at first, with one away. Here's Max Mailer. Grounded out and had a walk earlier. We mentioned the 0-for-5 hitting slump that Wayman's had. Well, Mandler's had one or two from time to time, including at the start of the season, where it took him a while to get his first hit. However, he was still getting on base with an absolutely ludicrous rate. He still carries an above 400 on-base percentage entering this game. Swing and a miss, and we'll say maybe that swing did help Blake get to second. Count now 1-1, and a man on second, removing the double play threat off a grounder. In fact, the runner's going to go to third, and since that one went low, Blake is going to get a second stolen base in a row. So it's a little cheeky base running there from Blake, and now he's 90 feet from home. And Mailer finds himself ahead in the count. Ball 3 up high. Wouldn't be surprised if they do walk Mailer here and just get a double play opportunity back on. After Mailer, it's Kyle Shimoleski. And ball 4. Now be ready, if the Pios do send Mandler, that could prompt Blake to try to get home. As a tactic we've seen them employ in the past, that could very well be used again. Especially the one where a Pioneer intentionally gets himself in a pickle to let a run come home. I'm sure Drum wouldn't mind getting a second out here if it let them get a 6-run lead. Now Shimoleski up one away. The runner will indeed go. That's taken for strike 1. Bowman just says, you know what, you take the base. We're not going to fall for the trap. Runners now at second and third, both in scoring position. 1-1 now as this one goes low. One and two now. This one's called strike 2. It's nighttime here in Elmira. 9 o'clock p.m. This one fouled away. But it's going to be a dugout souvenir. I think closer to the bullpen, too. Shimoleski stays alive after that foul ball. One, two. Muskie doing a great job of just keeping this at bat going as he keeps fouling it off. Ball 2 just up high. And ball 3. Shimoleski working a good count again. It's full here. It could potentially put bases loaded for Justin Hanley. Ball 4. Hanley will now get the bases loaded with one away. Hanley's only hit 125 entering the games today. He did carry a 349 on base percentage. But one thing I will say is that Hanley has done a good job. After an 0-for-3 game 1, he was able to get an RBI in the first inning and later a walk. As that first pitch is taken outside, ball 1. Now I will say, Hanley is pretty good at mind games. Not just with the pitcher being able to work good counts and getting on, but during bus trips, he's usually one of the best bus mafia players, always being a very convincing mafioso that avoids detection. And here, he might be putting up another Godfather play. With the bases loaded, he's worked himself a 3-0 count. And the Pios will now lead 8-2. That's 3 walks in a row that the Pios have drawn with one away. And we are going to see the pitching coach come out and I think just give some words of encouragement to Cooper. No one's been warming up, so they're not going to take him out. And also at this point, there's no real need to. He's theoretically got one more inning after this, unless the Pilots really get the offense going. At this point, they might just want to save an arm for the rest of the season, as they look to try to close down the Niagara Power. I think at this point, they might, or Newark and the Niagara Power are out of playoff contention, but obviously they're going to keep trying to play spoiler for the other teams. And the Niagara's had 2 games where they've pretty much done that, forcing some close results. We saw the previous one. My last active game was the Pilots visiting Elmira. 11-10 in extras. The Pios won on a walk-off. And then a 3-2 victory, which was pretty tense. Olszewski came in and finished the job after Ziv Gar went a majority of the distance. And I also just realized a depressing fact. We scored our first home run, and I forgot to put up the home run graphic I made for the broadcast. And see, that's another disappointing about these little technical hiccups we've had tonight. Distracts me from the things that I prepare to make the broadcast fun. Anyway, it's a 2-0 count now for Eric Charnetsky. Charnetsky got a double and a flyout in his first 2 at-bats. Charnetsky, a former Doubleday. He's had experience in the PGCBL. It's got to feel weird for him knowing that the Doubledays, his former team, are the big target for the Pioneers the rest of this season. 3-0 in the obvious take. It lands in the zone for strike 1. 3-1 here for Charnetsky. And ball 4. Another run comes home. And now they do send someone out to the bullpen. It's a 9-2 lead for the Pios. And I wonder whether it might be fatigue that's plaguing Cooper's arm now. And that's going to bring up Ethan Herrera. He's got a walk and a strikeout today. Pickoff attempt. He is safe, just missing the tag. I will say that was a good pickoff attempt and almost did catch Charnetsky off guard. 1-0 here. 2-0 now. And again, thank you for tuning in to Pios Baseball. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. If not, check in the next day. As this one's driven deep left field. I think this one's going to the wall. Yes, it does. It will score 1. And the question is, will they go for 2? No. Hanley holds up at third. I think Billy did want him to try to come home. But ultimately, he does stay back. It's a single for Ethan Herrera and an RBI. Even in a 10-0 lead right now, you definitely still need to be aggressive, or at the very least, a little more attentive. I'm pretty sure that's what Billy Wildman's going to be talking to Hanley about, because they very well could be leading 11-2 at this point. Smith now up. He's going to line one. It'll get down. It's now an 11-2 ball game. And the bases stay loaded. Cooper Smith didn't even wait for me to finish saying what I was saying before getting yet another RBI. The coach coming back out as the bullpen was actually cleared. I wonder whether they're just going to now make that change. Yes, they do. Cooper did a good job, but we are going to have a new pitcher come in now with an 11-1 deficit, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. By the way, we're 2 batters away from from batting through the entire Pios order again. I'm hearing word this might be a position player. I will double check. And if it is a position player, they're very much looking for someone just to eat up the final inning in 2/3, saying, hey, do whatever you can. The Pioneers were able to win via run-ahead rule. And, yeah, I believe it's Greg Kopp, yes. And I'll let you know that Greg Kopp, I believe, is definitely not a pitcher. How do I know this? Well, he played the DH in Game 1, and he's not as much of an Ohtani. He's only pitched 1 inning of relief. However, Kopp will be called upon here to finish out this game, as Cooper is able to go 3 1/3. Ultimately not bad for Cooper, who's only had 1 appearance all year. But his appearance will end early. I'll say one disappointing thing about Ciampa's departure from the Pios. He was 1 game away from becoming an all-time wins leader alone for the Pios, but he does now share the record with that 5-0 record for the season. And obviously, best of luck for Ciampa back in Northern Essex next year. And hopefully we see him return to the Pios. Anyway, Osofsky's now going to come up. We saw him come in and pitch 2/3 of an inning. And so far today, he's 0 for 2, but certainly due for a hit. First pitch from Kopp. Fouls this one away. So I will say Kopp was able to find the zone there with a little bit of heat behind it. Kopp being a catcher listed on the roster sheet does help him out more than the average position player. Because keep in mind, he knows a little more about tunneling and where to try to put pitches. This one's going to be sent to the outfield, and it gets down. But it's not going to be fielded, so both runners are going to be sent home. Runners are now at the corners. It's a 13-2 Pioneer lead. Olsavsky gets his first hit of the game and 2 RBIs along with it. Wayman on deck now, and he's already had an at-bat this inning. Bobby Marsh now gets runners at the corners. This late in the game, I'm not sure if they're going to even try for a run-ahead rule since, you know, there would only be 2 more innings afterward. Probably not necessarily worth it. We'll have to wait and see. Marsh has got 2 on board. That one's low, and it gets away. Runner's going to go home, and he's safe. Collision at the plate, but Cooper Smith prevails. The Pios now lead 14-2. And as the players clear the field, I think that is it. The Pioneers will win the double after 5 innings. That's the run-ahead rule. And I'll say, unfortunately, for the Newark Pilots, it's the second time the Pioneers have won with a run-ahead rule against the Pilots all season. But it also gives something else that's actually insane. Kevin Serrano, Braden Coletta, congratulations, you two have just pitched a 5-inning no-hitter. That's right, the Pioneers no-hit the Newark Pilots through 5 innings. The only 2 runs that came home were off a wild pitch. There was also an error earlier on by Kevin Serrano, but that technically counts as a no-hitter. There's going to be the world's largest asterisks involved, but the Pioneers will now be 20-19 with a massive victory, as the kids will do their fun run that was going to be scheduled for the 6th inning. We'll ultimately finalize our broadcast. And actually, we'll wait and see as the kids now go through the player tunnel right here. Oh no, they're going to miss the tunnel. A few people did. But as you can see, very high spirits from the Pios as they cheer the kids on. A few of the Pios are even shaking some people's hands. So it's been a tough day. Streaming mishaps, a couple home runs, and now a Pioneer victory. I'll give you the final line score. The Pioneers win 14-2 with 14 runs and 9 hits and 1 error. For the Pilots, it's 2 runs on no hits and 1 error. The Pioneers now improved to 20-19 and are above 500. For the Pilots, they're 12-27. For the Pios, the win this time goes to Kevin Serrano. He improves to a 3-2 record. The loss goes to DeVito, who went a full inning. Coletta has a no decision, but be shared alongside on this quotation mark no-hitter for your Elmira Pioneers. What a victory. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back, whether it's here in Dunfield or on the road. I'm Taylor Storthy. Stay tuned on the YouTube channel. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. is the game against Niagara. They also stream it, I believe, so if we're not live, they'll probably be live.